How many times have you watched the play where you ran into left field and became a second lefty?
A couple, definitely. I've had it sent to me a bunch of times, but obviously seen it, and yeah, I can't stop thinking about what was going through my head. It felt like it was going in slow motion, but obviously didn't look like that. So it's awesome.
Is that the best play you've ever made? Not in the normal shortstop position?
Probably. I actually made one, at my old school against Mitch Daly at his old school that was almost exactly like that. It's kind of weird, but, yeah, those two might be top two.
Can I interject for a second? Grant won't mind me saying this, but he and I were texting the other night when the play was #1 on SportsCenter. And I was like, how many times in your life do you have such a good game that I can legitimately say which play was the one that they put the highlight on?
How cool was it, though, to see it #1 on
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it was awesome. Fortunately, my family was here, so we got to watch it on TV together, so it was a special moment. It's something, as a kid, I used to watch Top 10 like probably everybody else, and it was a highlight of my day all the time, so, just living that out is pretty cool.
How often does your family get up here from Albuquerque and get to watch it?
A good bit, fortunately. Yeah, they've been up here a couple times. They are coming this weekend again, actually. They're bouncing back, so I'm grateful for that. And I know they had some troubles getting home, but they're turning right back around on Friday and coming back out here, so it'll be awesome.
Grant, you mentioned Mitch, who of course filled in for you when you were hurt, but describe him as a third baseman, as a teammate, as a guy who knows about playing infield. What has he added to your infield, having another shortstop, essentially, at third base, and you're all being able to communicate and things like that?
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely another shortstop, just like Petey. And, I know he's played all three positions, second base, shortstop, and third base in his career. And, he's succeeded at all three. But, just have the confidence with him over there is awesome. And, I think he complements our infield so well. I said it before, I think we have the best infield in the country, and he's a huge piece of that.
I was going to say, you guys have that rep now. Clearly that means a lot to you, doesn't it? That reputation as the best in the country.
Yeah, of course. We all pride ourselves on defense a lot. I remember Petey the other night saying that he even thinks he's a defense-first player, and for him to say that's pretty impressive. But, yeah, I think we have a solid defense, and I think other people think that too.
Coach Mangino was just talking about how important Ryan Hagenow is to everything you guys do in the dugout and the leadership. Just as a teammate, what have you seen from him since you got here?
Yeah, he's a vital piece to this team. 4-year guy who's been here since the beginning, who's seen it all, and he's a staple to our team who gels everybody together. And there's a reason he's the dugout captain. Coach Mangino doesn't take that role lightly, and that's a huge piece to our team as well, just the dugout. But yeah, a guy who's been here for 4 years, seen it all, seen the growth of this program, and having success now. I can't be happier for him.
Grant, going back to Albuquerque, your two top pictures are from there. Have you played against, I see it was different high schools. Do you have any battles with them back then, and what do you know about those two guys?
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't get to face a lot of New Mexican baseball players, but this weekend will be cool. But yeah, we're good friends. Me, Aiden, and Jacob are all great friends, and it'll be cool. I know they're really good. I faced them a couple times in high school. I know they've grown a lot since then and gotten a lot better, so they're having success this year, and yeah, it'll be fun.
The attitude and the outlook you have right now compared to right now a year ago, being at home instead of going to LSU,
yeah,
to maybe being the favorite when last year you guys were not.
yeah. Last year looking up at who we were about to play was tough, but this year, just going through it a second time, there's definitely a calming feeling to that, and also confidence. Having it at home is huge too with our fans, how they've been supporting us lately, and all year has been incredible. I think we definitely have the advantage on that. But yeah, just the work that it took all year to get into this moment, nothing's going to change, and having it at home will be awesome.
Everybody knows that among your myriad of injuries, you've been dealing with a foot injury. It doesn't look, in terms of the way you're running, like it's bothering you that much. Has it affected you on defense or offense?
It's definitely feeling better. The adrenaline of the moments that we're in this time of year definitely help a lot. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good, and probably the best I've felt in a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Grant, Coach Mangino just talked a lot about you guys living in the present, right, and not the past or the future. And what does that look like for you guys as players, especially here this week when you guys are entering a big-time moment coming up here on Saturday? What does it look like for you guys as captains to got to keep things cool.
Yeah, kind of just the same message that we've had all year. No game is bigger than any other game in our eyes, and obviously the situations are going to change, they're amplified, but in terms of the way that we approach the game, our preparation is going to stay the same. If we have anything to tweak out this week, we'll get it done, and then go into the game and treat it like a normal game. But I guess you do want to win this one a little bit more than games earlier in the season, just because of the moment. But nothing different, no different message from the leaders on the team, from the coaches on the team, which is something that I think is a strong suit of this team.
Is that a unique characteristic of just from other teams you've been on? For you guys to be able to just focus, are you guys better at that than maybe some of your other past experiences? Is that extreme?
Yeah, I definitely think so. Our ability to, we joke about expiring at midnight, but, it's not really a joke, to be honest. As soon as the clock hits midnight, we're focused on what it takes to win, and we're not as concerned of just the end result of winning. And Coach Minch does a really good job of providing the things that we need to do to win, and not just, talking about winning. And I think that's a big difference.
How much do you
Talking about
study
those timeouts that you all will use? Is there a typical way those go, or they bring the ideas, or players kind of chipping in what they think?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I can kind of tell when Coach Amo wants to take a timeout, because his body language kind of changes, and you can tell he's like analyzing a situation, and then he'll kind of just start walking out and call timeout. But yeah, so the coaches will meet first. Us players will kind of meet, talk about maybe if it's a new pitcher, what the guys on base have seen, to try to help you. We'll take a break, kind of talk with each other, and then the coaches will come up, and it's honestly kind of a conversation. It's not like them telling us what to do. It's like, what do you think about it here? They get our feedback, and then we kind of make a final decision and go from there. And I know other fans at other places and other teams hate those meetings, but it's good for us.
One or two more, and
Is
then
it
Ryan's
tough?
on his way down.
Is it tough when maybe you're being asked to bunt and you're wanting to hit? I mean, is there ever any pushback or anything like that?
No. Especially in these moments, whatever the team needs is everybody's going to do. I'm not just the only one that's going to say that. I mean, Ron has 20 homers this year. He'll lay down a bunt if that's what the situation calls for. That's a strength of this team. Like Coach Minch was saying, we have a lot of different ways we can win and a lot of different things we can do to win. And so any moment, anything that the team needs, everybody will do it.
when you play a team?
These 7 days, 6 days between games, how much has that kind of helped this team health-wise, and maybe just in terms of recovery, just getting in and being able to focus on that next series?
Yeah, the break definitely helps. But at this point in the season, when you played so many games, it kind of becomes a routine. It's not a huge difference. So we'll approach this weekend the same, and it'll be fun.
When you've never played a team before, how do you study their pitchers, their tendencies? How much video do you have to go through in a short window?
Yeah, so our coaching staff, I don't think anybody watches more video than they do. I've been around it a lot more this year, and the amount of preparation that they put into each game and each opponent, I've never seen another coaching staff do as much. So, it kind of takes a lot of pressure off us as players, just putting our confidence in them and trusting what they see. We don't watch a ton of video ourselves. It'll just be maybe a day before the game or just right before the game. But all week we're kind of talking about what our approach will be off the different pitchers. But we're putting a lot of our trust in them, and just how the season's gone, we can be confident in that.
And Nick has talked more than once in settings like this about the Kennesaw weekend. Looking back, what was going on with your team then compared to now?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think obviously we had some injuries. We had a lot of things going differently, and I think it was just a mindset shift. We didn't have the dugout as involved. We didn't really have our true identity as a team yet. And I think Coach Minge and the coaching staff kind of identified that and challenged us in different ways and kind of morphed into what we are now. And, without that weekend, though we did lose, I don't think we'd be in this situation.
I was going to say, looking back, can you believe that it unfolded that way?
Yeah, I'm actually grateful it did. Losing isn't always a bad thing. You can learn from losing. And we have a saying for loss, and it's learning opportunities, stay strong. That's what Coach Minge brings to the team, and I think that's a prime example that weekend.
You have a lot of sayings.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. They help. They do help. I do like them.
we've talked a lot about you being the dugout captain. How much does that mean to you that Nick has that confidence in you to run the dugout?
Yeah, it means a lot because it's kind of funny, but I think it's more than just obviously the dugout captain. I think it's somebody that can just kind of keep the vibes good in the dugout, and being that person that others can rely on means a lot to me.
So are you the guy that kind of comes up with everything, or do you kind of go off of your teammates, or how does that work?
It's definitely collective. Guys will be coming up to me laughing because they have this crazy idea, and I'm kind of like the veto or like the yeah, let's go. So there's definitely been some things that I can't say on here for some ideas from some of the guys, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Ryan, I remember the first pregame meeting of the year down in Spartanburg, and Nick was talking about dugout energy, and he looked right at you and said basically something like, "Are you ready to go again?" Had that been your plan all along? You wanted to do it again this year?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think it's just harder when you're younger to run the dugout, obviously, because trying to get older guys to listen to you is difficult. But now that I'm older and I've been here for 4 years, I feel like guys trust and believe in what I say and don't just shrug it off and get annoyed. So it's been pretty cool to see how much everybody's bought into what we do.
How do you feel when you have to go down to the bullpen and get ready and you have to hoist the mantle on somebody else? Is it like a big decision for you? Is it...
It's usually just whoever's been loud and having fun that day. I've been giving it to Patrick Herrera and Ben Higdon in the past, so whoever wants it.
Ryan, how do you reflect on your career as a whole here with the injuries and maybe not, being the Friday ace that you thought you were going to be for a while, but then having this huge leadership role that you've developed the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think, college has helped me realize that I'm a lot more than just baseball. So at first I was basing whether I was happy or not strictly off my results of how I threw, and I was getting injured and stuff like that, so that obviously wasn't working very well. And then once I realized I can have a much bigger impact in the locker room and with the team as well as on the field, that stuff kind of stopped mattering as much to me. So, a lot of people from the outside may look at it and think of it as unsuccessful, but I feel like I've grown a lot and become a much better person, and just every aspect of my life has gotten better. So I love the leadership role I'm in.
That being said, you're obviously still very effective when
Yeah.
they have you two this year. How much are you kind of dialed in on the mound right now?
Yeah, I feel really good on the mound right now. Me and the bullpen I've kind of been all over the place this year, doing every role. And throughout my career, there's not really a role that I haven't done. So, just trusting in the experience I have and, knowing that the younger guys are looking to me in a lot of those situations gives me a lot of confidence.
Is the role not having a defined role?
I think so. Yeah, I think just kind of being ready for whatever situation. And I take that as a compliment from the coaching staff because it's not easy to do, to go in the 4th inning some days and then go in the 9th the next day. Just keeping your mind ready for whenever. I guess that is the role, yeah.
As a staff, how do you guys approach a super regional maybe differently than the regional format, knowing it's only 3 games?
Yeah, I think this one's a little easier to approach because it's just like another weekend series. We have the same guys, and we're used to playing 3 games, and this time we could only play 2. So, yeah, I think the key is just win game 1, win game 2, and then see what happens.
Grant said you guys don't really look at video that much of the opposition, but as a pitcher, if you're watching a game and you see, wow, that guy's got a hole in his swing, or certain pitches work, how much do you prepare on each batter going into a game or a series?
Yeah, so the players ourselves don't watch a lot of video, but our coaching staff watches a ridiculous amount of video on our opponent, and they figure out all those things. And obviously it's on the scouting reports and stuff, and some guys like to look at it, some guys don't like to look at it. I personally, I trust in the coach's research, and if he's calling a pitch, I'm trusting that he's done his homework, and that, like you said, there's a hole in the swing or something like that. So they definitely put in the time doing that. That way we just go out and compete and don't overthink it.
Ryan, since you're as well connected as anybody as a captain on this team, emotional leader, how are the emotions on the team collectively right now?
Really good. Really good. This team we believe in ourselves, and I think that's one of the main reasons we've been so successful. Especially, Coach Minch talks about don't listen to outside noise and all that, and he said that from the beginning. And I think that's helped us really just be comfortable within our own skin and know how good we are. So everybody's really excited. I'm sure we'll have those pregame jitters. It's hard not to when you got 10,000 people or whatever playing there for you. So yeah, but we're all really excited and really confident.
Yeah, obviously it's, you guys haven't won one of these yet. Once you get the games started, then it's just another game. But what do you feel like it takes to win one of these?
Yeah, so that's something we'll discuss in the scouting report, but I do really think it's just really important to realize the game's the exact same. It means more on paper, but if we do what we've been doing all year, then we should be able to win. So it's just important with what we do and not being too consumed in everything outside of the game. The game doesn't change at all. So just remembering that will be huge for us.
We've talked a lot about how Oregon State's similar to you guys, do whatever it takes, bunt, steal. How do you approach the game different when you're playing teams like this?
I'd say not really for me. I'm just up there trying to throw the pitch where it's called, but it's definitely in the back of our mind with our positioning on the field, whether we have to pull our third baseman in a little bit for the threat of the bunt and stuff, things like that. But we'll definitely hammer home in practice throughout the week, whether it's a pitcher being quick to the plate so they can't steal on us, just things like that. The little things definitely change a little bit. But.
Ryan, you know that runs are precious.
Right.
The further you go into the postseason, what does it mean to a pitcher to see his teammates go out there and maybe manufacture a run, a walk, a steal, bunt, whatever it may take to just get you a run?
Yeah, that means a lot because it just never feels like we're out of it, ever. And that gives pitchers a lot of confidence because even if you do struggle a little bit, they're going to pick you up. And that's been one of the most important things for this team is just our trust in each other. I know if I struggle a little bit, the next arm who comes out of the bullpen is going to pick me up, and then the offense is going to pick me up, and we'll probably win. So, it's kind of been like that all year, and it's super important.
What was the chatter in the locker room when you saw that 9 p.m. start on Sunday?
Well, I kind of saw it coming. I know we were playing a West Coast team, so it's all about the money and TV time. I think it's going to be really cool, though. I think it's going to be cool.
Ryan, obviously, you guys are in the middle of making something special happen, but do you guys kind of recognize the moment as you guys are going through it, just realizing like, okay, this is at home, right? And home field advantage, you guys always want it. In pro sports, we've seen the last month or so that home court, home field, home ice hasn't really mattered, but in college it means so much. So do you guys feel that this weekend, and are you going to feel it coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. But like you said, it's kind of one of those things where once the first pitch is thrown, that kind of goes away. But me and my roommates, I live with Nolan, Ryan Nicholson, and Evan Byers, and we'll just be sitting on the couch after the regional win, and we're like, wow, that was really cool. And then we started talking about this week, and we're like, oh, this is going to be really cool. So, we're super pumped, and we recognize how lucky we are and how cool this is, and that it's not just a every year thing or hasn't been in the past. So, yeah, we know it's a big deal, but that's part of what makes the work throughout the week so important.
Even though it was on the road last year, what can you learn from last year and being in the Super Regional that you bring to this year's?
Yeah, luckily, I think we played in the toughest environment in the country last year. So, and against someone who's thrown in the major leagues right now. So I don't know what better experience we could have. What could prepare us better than playing that last year? I think just having the confidence and having our crowd behind us and not facing false schemes. No, but I think just having a bunch of veterans that experience that and pretty much going from the hardest situation possible to earning a right to do it at home, I think is pretty cool. So.
You were talking earlier about your career, ups and downs, but in that window, you've seen this program go from the valley, you know, to as good as it's ever been. What has that been like for you emotionally to be a part of that as a 4-year guy, as a leader, and bringing a lot of guys with you?
Yeah. I mean, Coach Minge, during our team meeting at the beginning of the year, he always talks about how we have our life and our expectations, and we just expect it to go like this. And reality's always, you know, up, down, up, down, up, down. So after he told us that, and after 4 years, I could not believe in something more now. Like, it's super true. Each year, though, we found a way to get the team morale better and better and better and better. And my freshman year, there were things that made us really happy. Like whenever we made it to Hoover, we were pumped up for each other because we got to play more, and you know, the goals just slowly became more believable. We started to get guys to completely buy in to what we were doing, and with Coach Minge, I think it's really just about if you buy into what he wants to do and what Coach Rozelle and the other coaches have in mind, then you're going to be really good. We have a group of guys that has bought in, and I think that's why we've been so successful.